मिनट पनि गइसकेछ। ल नमस्ते सबैजना, मेरो नाम प्रणय राणा हो। म चाहिँ किताब लेख्छु, स्टोरी लेख्छु। अहिले काठमाडौँ पोस्टमा जर्नलिस्ट एडिटर पनि छु, फिचर्स एडिटिङ गर्छु मोस्टली। मैले एउटा किताब पनि लेखेको छु जसको नाम हो सिटी अफ ड्रिम्स। इट्स अ शॉर्ट स्टोरी कलेक्सन पब्लिस्ड फ्रम इन्डिया बाई रूपा। तर त्यो निस्केको धेरै वर्ष भइसक्यो। इट केम आउट इन 2015 एक्चुअली ब्लकेडको बेला निस्केको थियो किताब। अनि धेरै सङ्घर्ष गर्नु परेको थियो त्यो किताबलाई इन्डियाबाट नेपाल ल्याउनलाई। But eventually it came out. It's been 5 years. I haven't written anything else since then. So अब कतिको आफूलाई राइटर भन्ने है, जस लेख्न चाहिँ लेख्छु, टाइम टाइममा फ्याट्टाफुट्टा यताउता सर्ट स्टोरीहरू लेखिरहेको हुन्छु। I publish in whatever magazines will have me. I write often on काठमाडौँ पोस्टमा मेरो रेगुलर एउटा कलम पनि लेख्थेँ। यो पेन्डेमिक र लकडाउन भन्दा अगाडि एउटा ब्रन्च विथ द पोस्ट भन्ने एउटा विकली कलम लेख्थेँ जसमा चाहिँ आई मिट विथ इन्ट्रेस्टिङ पिपल एन्ड वी हेभ कन्भर्सेसन्स, गफसफ गर्ने। ब्रन्च भन्नाले अब ब्रेकफास्ट लन्चको बिचमा ब्रेकफास्ट खाने, लन्च खाने, गफ गर्ने। सो द्याट्स व्हाट आई युज्ड टु डु। अहिले त त्यो अब बन्द भइहाल्यो। पेन्डेमिक भएपछि न ब्रन्च न लन्च। अब सोच्नु मेबी आई एम थिङ्किङ यस्तै फेसबुक लाइभ गर्नु पर्ला कि क्या हो भनेर। बट एनिवे, सो द्याट्स मी, शॉर्ट इन्ट्रोडक्सन। म मोस्टली अहिले चाहिँ जर्नलिजममै छु। सो मेरो अहिले फिक्सन राइटिङ अलिकति अन होल्ड भएको छ बिकज I'm really just focused so much on work and journalism that यो आफ्नो लागि फिक्सन लेख्ने टाइमै पाउन गाह्रो भइरहेछ। बट यो लकडाउनमा, पेन्डेमिक भएदेखि लकडाउनमा वर्किङ फ्रम होम, सो आई बिन ट्राइङ टु राइट नेक्स्ट किताब जुन चाहिँ मेरो नोभल हुन्छ भन्ने आश गरेको छु। त्यो लेख्दैछु अहिले। सुरु त गरेँ तर अब कहाँ पुग्छ कहाँ जान्छ त्यो अब हेर्ने बाँकी छ है। So anyway, I think यो हाम्रो bOOkahOlics-को मैले त भन्नै बिर्सेँ। First of all, thanks to all the bOOkahOlics team members, all the mods, especially Saguna Diju for inviting me, for making sure that I was able to come here, I was able to talk about my writing and all that, अनि for making sure that I figured out यो कसरी गर्ने। यो मैले यो खासै फेसबुक लाइभ पहिले गरे पनि थिइनँ। Anyway, thank you for the opportunity and I hope जसले सुनिरहेछन्, I hope you'll enjoy this conversation. Please ask me questions, comments, whatever you want to know about me, about writing, about journalism, about publishing. जे छ क्वेसनहरु प्लिज सोध्नुस्, म एन्सर गर्न ट्राई गर्छु। बट यो अलि फ्री फ्लोइङ हैन, कन्भर्सेसन जस्तो मात्र, मोनोलग भनौँ न यसलाई। मोडरेटर पनि खासै छैन, म आफै एक्लै बोल्दै गर्छु हैन। सो प्लिज फिल फ्री टु इन्टरप्ट मी है, if I say something that you want me to expand on or talk more, say more. So खासैमा भन्ने हो भने चाहिँ मलाई बच्चादेखि अब let's talk about my writing journey है त। So I think that was one of the prompts for this session, this talk हैन, that राइटरहरु र रिडर्सहरुसित अब एउटा संवाद खालको हैन, कसरी राइटरहरु कसरी सुरु गरे, राइटिङ जर्नी प्रोसेस कस्तो छ भनेर। सो मेरो अब म पनि त्यहीबाट सुरु गरौँ भनेको। I want to start from the very beginning हैन, as it's always good to begin at the beginning भन्छ नि। सो मेरो खासैमा मैले चाहिँ यसो आफ्नै राइटिङ जर्नी रिफ्लेक्ट गर्दाखेरि सोच्दाखेरि चाहिँ मैले एउटा तीनटा डिस्टिंक्ट फेजेसहरु थियो मेरो राइटिङको। अनि त्यो तीनटा फेजहरुको बारे चाहिँ म तपाईहरुलाई भन्न चाहन्छु हैन। So first phase जुन चाहिँ which started म क्लास 8, 9, 10 तिर हुँदाखेरि हैन, स्कुलमा पढिरहेको थिएँ। अनि पहिलादेखि नै मलाई एकदम लेख्न चाहिँ मन लाग्थ्यो, स्टोरीजहरु, फिक्सन, शॉर्ट स्टोरीज, एउटा नोभल टाइपको पनि लेख्न खोजेको थिएँ, एकदमै झुर थियो हैन। ट्राई चाहिँ गरिरहन्थे, तर क्लास 8, 9 तिर चाहिँ एकदम एउटा जागर आयो के लेख्नलाई। त्यो बेला चाहिँ मैले के रियलाइज गरे भनेपछि म एउटा नेपाली मान्छे हो, नेपाली केटा हो जो काठमाडौँमा हुर्केको छु। सो मैले के लेख्नुपर्छ भने मैले जे मेरो एक्सपिरियन्सेसहरू छ, जे मैले भएको छु, जे मैले देखेको छु, त्यसलाई लेख्दाखेरि चाहिँ अथेन्टिक हुन्छ। किनभने म जब सानो थिएँ म एकदम लेख्न ट्राई गर्थेँ होइन, मैले क्लास 3-4 नै के किताब लेख्न ट्राई गरेको थिएँ होइन, तर सबै मैले इट वाज बेसिकली अ कपी भनौँ न, जे पढ्थेँ अनि त्यही जे राम्रो लाग्थ्यो त्यो जस्तै लेख्न खोज्थेँ। सो अल अफ माई क्यारेक्टर्स, अल अफ माई प्लट सबै त्यो बाहिरको किताबहरू हुन्छ नि। सो म क्लास 4-5 हुँदाखेरि एकदम हार्डी बोइज पढ्थेँ क्या, अनि हार्डी बोइजको त्यो मिस्ट्री खालको हुन्छ नि। सो आई टु राइट लाइक द्याट के, मिस्ट्री स्टोरी विथ क्यारेक्टर्स द्याट वर बेसिकली विदेशीहरू होइन, विथ लाइक अल खैरे नेम्स, जन, पिटर, जिल एट्सेट्रा। तर त्यही अब स्कुलमा 8-9 आइसकेपछि चाहिँ अब ठिकै छ, नेपाली लेख्नु पऱ्यो, नेपाली स्टोरी हुनु पऱ्यो। मैले अङ्ग्रेजीमा लेखे पनि स्टोरी क्यारेक्टर्सहरू चाहिँ नेपाली हुनु पऱ्यो भनेर मैले डिसाइड गरेँ। अनि त्यो बेलादेखि लेख्न थालेँ होइन। तर त्यो फेज म के भन्छु भने त्यसलाई चाहिँ मेरो राइटिङ एज पर्फर्मेन्स फेज भन्नु मन छ। किनभने त्यति बेला मैले जे लेखिरहेको थिएँ त्यो खासै आफ्नो लागि लेखिरहेको थिइनँ, त्यो चाहिँ मैले एउटा पर्फर्मेटिभ मिन्स को लागि लेखिरहेको थिएँ कि अरूलाई देखाउन म लेख्न सक्छु, मलाई लेख्न आउँछ, मलाई लेख्न रमाइलो लाग्छ, अनि मैले लेखेर अरूलाई देखाउने, अनि उनीहरूले पढोस् अनि वा तैँले त राम्रो लेख्दो रहेछस् नि त, तैँले त स्टोरी लेखिस् नि त भनेर भनोस् जस्तो लाग्थ्यो कि। सो त्यस भएर इट वाज मोर अफ अ पर्फर्मेन्स होइन, आफ्नो लागि भन्दा नि वाट विल पिपल से, हाउ विल दे रिड माई वर्क, हाउ विल दे रेस्पोन्ड होइन, त्यस्तो खालको थियो। अनि त्यो बेला चाहिँ त्यसरी लेख्थेँ। अनि के भयो भने त्यो बेला चाहिँ मेरो साथीहरूले थाहा पाए कि म एकदम लेख्न रुचाउँछु भनेर होइन। अनि क्लासमेट्सहरूले खासै त्यस्तो राइटिङमा अब धेरै त दे वन्ट भेरी गुड। सो हामी टिनेजर्स थियौँ त्यति बेला, भर्खर 14-15 वर्षको। त्यही पनि म सेन्ट जेभियर्समा पढ्थेँ होइन, अल बोइज स्कुल। भर्खर केटीहरू गर्ल्सहरू यसो कुरा गर्न थालिरहेको, इन्ट्रेस्ट जागिरहेको होइन। सो साथीहरूले के भन्थ्यो भने उनीहरूलाई मनपर्ने एकजनाको केटी हुन्थ्यो, सेन्ट मेरिजको सम गर्ल हो, लाइक मेरो बस स्टपको एकजना केटी छ। सो दे कम टु मी एन्ड दे से एउटा लभ लेटर लेख्दैन यार प्लिज। सो वाट आई वुड डु इज आई वुड राइट लभ लेटर्स फर माई एन्टायर क्लास। जो केटीहरू मन परायो उनीहरूलाई लभ लेटर लेख्नु पऱ्यो नि, दे कम टु मी, आस्क मी, एन्ड मैले चाहिँ एकदम उनीहरू भएर एकदम भावुक भएर इमोसनल भएर फिलिङ्स साथ एउटा लभ लेटर लेखिदिन्थेँ। अनि इट वाज द रेस्पोन्स इज प्रिटी गुड। सो त्यो बेला पनि इट वाज मोर अफ अ पर्फर्मेन्स होइन, इट वाज अलवेज फर सम वान एल्स, इट वाज टु सो सम वान एल्स द्याट लुक राइटिङ थ्रु पनि मैले केही अचिभ गर्न सक्छु, मैले राम्रो लेखेर मेबी आई क्यान मेक सम गर्ल लाइक मी मोर। मी भन्नाले मी होइन, माई फ्रेन्ड हु एक्चुली वान्टेड मी टु राइट। सो त्यस्तो थियो होइन, द्याट वाज माई फर्स्ट फेज, राइटिङ एज पर्फर्मेन्स। देन मेरो सेकेन्ड फेजमा जुन गएँ, जुन म भन्छु आई कल इट राइटिङ एज थेरापी फेज होइन। सो त्यसपछि चाहिँ अब जब टिनेजर हुँदै गयो होइन, 16-17-18 वर्ष, वेन युआर लाइक टिनेजर, अनि त्यो टिनेज एङ्स्ट हुन्छ नि भित्र, एभ्री वान हेज द्याट फेज राइट, वेन युआर यङ एन्ड वेन युआर लाइक ओ के भइरहेछ, आई फिल सो मेनी थिङ्स, आई हेभ सो मेनी इमोसन्स, आई डोन्ट नो वाट यु थिङ्क, आई डोन्ट नो हाउ टु फिल। So for me, writing moved from the performance phase to a therapy phase, where I started writing as a way to kind of come to terms with my own feelings, with how I felt, with all of the basic teenage angst जुन मेरो थियो त्यति बेलाको, त्यसलाई चाहिँ कसरी डिल गर्ने होइन। सो म ब्लगहरू लेख्थेँ होइन, खासै मलाई जर्नल भन्दा पनि डायरी सायरी लेख्नु भन्दा नि म ब्लगतिर लेख्न थाल्थेँ कि। So I used to write blogs, and I had a blog called Think in Ink भन्ने, जुन चाहिँ धेरैले त्यति बेला पढ्थे क्यारे, अनि मैले धेरै साथीहरू पनि बनाएको थिएँ त्यो ब्लगबाट। द्याट ब्लग इज स्टिल एक्टिभ, आई डोन्ट राइट अन इट एनिमोर बिकज आई थिङ्क आई हेभ कम आउट अफ द्याट फेज होइन, त्यो थेरापी फेज वेयर आई वाज बेसिकली राइटिङ जस्ट फर माइसेल्फ, वेयर आई वाज ट्राइङ टु फिगर आउट म को हो, मेरो राइटिङ के हो, वाट इज द पोइन्ट अफ लेखेर मैले के अचिभ गर्न खोजिरहेको छु त मेरो लाइफमा, मेरो माई ट्राजेक्टोरी, हु एम आई, what is my writing. That was my second phase. And writing as therapy. Writing that is turned inwards, भित्र आफ्नो feelings, आफ्नो my identity. So that was my second phase, होइन. अब चाहिँ third phase मा छ. यहाँ क्वेसनहरु पनि आइरहेछ है. I'll get to the questions once I finish with this monologue, है त. So मेरो third phase जुन चाहिँ आयो त्यो चाहिँ that came when I first started working as a reporter for Nepali Times. अनि so that was कहिले म 18-19 वर्षको थिएँ हैन. मैले फर्स्ट रिपोर्टिङ सुरु गर्दाखेरि अनि त्यति बेला it was a completely different style of writing. I was really bad at it. And my editors used to yell at me all the time because I used to think that reporting पनि अब creative writing त हो नि हैन. So fiction लेखा जस्तै हो भनेर I used to approach it in that way where journalism, reporting has a very different reason, right? A raison d'etre भन्छ नि. So reporting गर्न थालेपछि then I realized that okay, writing को एउटा अर्को there is another purpose to writing, which is basically communication, to reach out to someone. So reporting मा जस्तो के हुन्छ भने it's basically information, right? You're trying to communicate to the reader what this issue is. So creative writing जतिको freedom नहोला तर basically writing को through चाहिँ reader सित एउटा link हुन्छ. So you can tell them something, you can educate them, in the process educate yourself. So this is my third phase where I realized that okay, writing चाहिँ is not just, it shouldn't just be performance, it shouldn't just be writing for other people, but it also shouldn't just be therapy for myself. It has to be a balance between the two, हैन. So I have to write with an audience in mind because I'm writing to communicate certain ideas. So यो मेरो फिक्सनमा पनि मैले जुन अपनाउन ट्राई गरेको छु is that I have ideas, I have characters, these characters have thoughts, feelings, emotions, हैन. अनि त्यो सबै कुरालाई चाहिँ अब रिडरले कसरी बुझ्छ त? Will the reader interpret it accurately or will they come to their own conclusion? हैन. That's fine. Both of those issues are fine, but the fact is the reader has to feel something, हैन. रिडरले पनि त्यो मैले के लेखेको छु त्यो पढेर ए मैले बुझेँ नि त यसले के भन्न खोजेको, हैन. ए त्यो त्यस्तो फिलिङ त मलाई पनि आछ नि भनेर त्यस्तो होस्. त्यो भयो भने then there is a bond between the reader and the writer, हैन. I might never know all of my readers and the reader might never know me, but through my writing, through the stories I write, through my books, through my articles, through whatever it is that I put out there, readers can find this bond, build a connection to the writer. So I'm sure your bOOkahOlics is the reading group, man. I'm sure all of you read books, and the books that you really love, you have a special connection to them, right? And through that book, you have a special connection to the author. So whether you like Hemingway or whether you like Murakami or whether you like Virginia Woolf or all of these great writers, you feel like you know these people. You know these people. You might not know them personally. They might be long dead and gone, but you feel like so that is the phase of writing that I'm in right now, where I want to communicate, where I want to reach out to people, to readers, and make sure that somehow I communicate something that is intangible, something that cannot easily be put into words and explained and said like, yo नै हो कुरा, यो मैले भन्न खोजेको. So didactic हुनुको सट्टा more like poetry, you give them something, people interpret it, people come to a certain conclusion, and then people decide for themselves whether they like it or they don't like it, or whether they have a connection or they don't have a connection. So that is basically, in short, sabai condense gareko मेरो writing journey अहिलेसम्म. So मेरो यो 3 phases भनेर भने नि मैले, performance, therapy and communication. So by the way, यो सबै एकदम personal कुरा हो है. I'm sure a lot of people might disagree with me. I'm sure a lot of people think that or believe that writing भनेको आफ्नै लागि हुनुपर्छ, हैन. As long as you are happy, doesn't matter जसले जे सोचो, जसले जे लाग्यो, जे पढोस्, कनेक्ट गरोस् वा नगरोस्, ठिकै छ, हैन. म आफ्नो लागि लेख्छु, damn care अरु सबैलाई. त्यस्तो पनि हुन्छ. which is not wrong, it's fine. That's personal, होइन सबैको आफ्नै आफ्नै वे अफ अप्रोचिङ देयर आर्ट हुन्छ. मेरो चाहिँ यो हो क्या. सो मलाई के लाग्छ भने राइटिङ भन्ने कुरा चाहिँ इट इज एट वान्स एकदम इन्टर्नल लुकिङ एन्ड अल्सो आउटवर्ड लुकिङ. सो बिकज राइटिङ भन्ने कुरा एकदम सलिटरी हुन्छ होइन. राइटर भन्ने मान्छे जहिले पनि एक्लो हुन्छ. लेख्ने भनेको यु सिट अलोन एन्ड यु राइट अलोन, यु थिङ्क अलोन एन्ड यु पुट इट अल डाउन बाई युर सेल्फ होइन. लेखिसकेपछि अफकोर्स एडिटर्स आउँछ, पब्लिसर्स आउँछ, रिडर्स आउँछ, वाटेभर हुन्छ. तर लेख्ने त्यो जब केही कुरालाई क्रिएट गरिरहेछौँ त्यो बेला चाहिँ एक्लो हुन्छ नि त हामी होइन. तर जस्ट by saying that it's a solitary craft, it doesn't mean that it's produced in a vacuum. So it is at once looking outward, right? So influences are huncha. Whatever you write, you are influenced by people you've read before, by things you've seen, by conversations, by people, by even like other forms of art, होइन, like music, like film. So मेरो लागि पनि त्यस्तै हुन्छ के. A lot of my short storiesहरू मैले कतिचोटि चाहिँ मलाई म्युजिकले इन्सपायर गर्छ कि. म एउटा गीत सुन्छु अनि त्यो गीत माइट ह्याभ नथिङ टु डु विथ वाट आई एन्ड अप राइटिङ, बट द्याट सङ के माइन्डमा दिमागमा एउटा के क्लिक स्विच अन गरे जस्तो हुन्छ कि. ठ्याक्क के अन हुन्छ अनि देन आई स्टार्ट राइटिङ एन्ड त्यो म्युजिकले नै त्यो it compels me, it encourages me to write. So I think यो धेरैलाई हुन्छ के. So मैले चाहिँ यो I learned of this through the work of this black writer named James Baldwin. So James Baldwin भन्ने चाहिँ उहाँले चाहिँ he used to write a lot and he's write about black American experiences होइन. अनि उसको चाहिँ writing was heavily influenced by blues and jazz के. सो उसले लेख्दाखेरि उसले धेरै ज्याज सुन्थ्यो, धेरै ब्लुज सुन्थ्यो अनि उसको राइटिङमा त्यो ज्याजको रिदम आउने के. सो विच आई थिङ्क अहिलेको हाम्रो एकदम पपुलर राइटर जो हुनुहुन्छ होइन, मुराकामी, जो नेपालमा he is very very popular, lots of people read him, right? So मुराकामीको पनि in his writing music is there through all of his works होइन. He writes a lot about the blues because he loves it, and usko त्यो आर्टले that the music really influences what he writes, how he writes, उसको राइटिङको रिदम, मिटर सबै पोएट्री लेखे जस्तै हुन्छ कि. सो मलाई पनि त्यस्तै लाग्छ होइन. मलाई पनि मेरो a few short stories have been heavily influenced by music, a few have heavily been influenced by film, by books I've read. So all of those things. So like I said, it's both inward looking and outward looking at the same time. So ali paradoxical कुरा छ. So that's my basically मेरो monologue चाहिँ त्यो थियो होइन. So I wanted to just get that out of the way at the beginning so that so more people can join अनि and I can see some comments and start responding to those comments है त. So के कमेन्टहरू छ एकचोटि हेरौँ है त. म So I'm going to scroll up to the very beginning and then start with the very first questions and comments, right? So the first question that I see here is from Khilanath Sharma, who asks, does journalism give impetus to writing fiction? Yes, that is a good question. Actually, म पर्सनली भन्नुपर्ने हो भने चाहिँ जर्नलिजमले खासै मलाई इम्पेटस के पनि दिएको छैन, झन् रोकिदिएको छ मेरो फिक्सनलाई. किनभने इट्स टु भेरी डिफ्रेन्ट फर्म्स अफ राइटिङ होइन. सो जर्नलिजम गर्दा गर्दै मैले फिक्सन चाहिँ लेख्न एकदमै मेरो बन्दै भइसकेको छ कि, स्टप नै भइसकेको. बिकज फर्स्ट अफ माई जब इज भेरी डिमान्डिङ है. धेरै काम गर्नुपर्ने छ, राति बिहानदेखि रातिसम्म काम गराइरहेको हुन्छ. So even if I'm not writing, if I'm not editing, I'm still talking, I'm reading, I'm figuring out के छ न्युज, के भइरहेछ देशमा बाहिरतिर. So as an editor, I always have to be on top of things. So that gives me very little time to focus on my own writing. मेरो आफ्नै पर्सनल राइटिङ जुन चाहिँ फिक्सन हो त्यसलाई चाहिँ मलाई खासमा इम्प्याक्ट दिएको छैन, झन् रोकिदिएको छ। तर त्यो द्याट सेड होइन, जर्नलिजमले चाहिँ मलाई के सिकाएको छ भने धेरै स्टोरिजहरू आउँछ कि त्यहाँबाट, धेरै आइडियाजहरू आउँछ, क्यारेक्टर्सहरू भेटिन्छ, यु कम अक्रस रियली इन्ट्रेस्टिङ पिपल स्टोरिज द्याट यु क्यान देन युज इन यर फिक्सन। सो मेरो फिक्सनको लागि चाहिँ I take liberally from everywhere, right? I'm constantly reusing events, experiences that have happened to me, that have happened to my friends, that have happened to people I know, न्युजमा भएको कुराहरू, क्यारेक्टर्सहरू सबै म युज गर्छु के। सो इन द्याट वे चाहिँ यस इट हेल्प्स होइन। सो अनि ओके, सो द्याट्स वान क्वेसन है त। सो नेक्स्ट क्वेसन फ्रम मिस भ्रिकुटी राई, त्यो लेख्ने जाँगर कसरी ल्याउने सी सेज। आई डोन्ट नो, मलाई पनि त्यसको एन्सर थाहा छैन। यो जाँगर ल्याउन एकदमै नै गाह्रो कुरा हो यार। आई नो पिपल से होइन द्याट लेख्नको लागि एउटा पर्फेक्ट इन्भाइरोमेन्ट क्रिएट गर्नुपर्छ, एउटा राम्रो डेस्क चाहिन्छ, एउटा राम्रो कोठा चाहिन्छ, अनि ठ्याक्क बस्यो अनि देन लेख्न मुड आउँछ भने त्यो चाहिँ मलाई कहिले पनि भएको छैन। के हुन्छ कहिलेकाहीँ अब यो लकडाउन भयो होइन, लकडाउन भएपछि मलाई धेरै साथीहरूले भन्छन् कि अब यार लकडाउन छ, घर बसिरहेछ, लेखिरह होला नि त तैँले त। अनि म सोध्छु यस आई हेभ सो मच टाइम न, तर वाइ एम आई नट राइटिङ। सो जहिले पनि आई युज टु थिङ्क ओके ल न अफिस जानु पर्दैन, आई क्यान वर्क फ्रम होम, आई हेभ सो मच टाइम अन माई ह्यान्ड्स, आई सुड बी राइटिङ। अनि एभ्री डे ल आज चाहिँ लेख्छु है, आज चाहिँ लेख्छु भनेर बसेँ, मुडै आउँदैन, जाँगरै आउँदैन। लेख्न थाले पनि एक प्याराग्राफ लेख्ने अनि ओ माई गड यो त खत्तमै छ नि त, यो त झुर भयो भनेर फाल्दिएँ होइन। सो मैले ट्राई पनि गरेँ सुरुमा, यो पेन्डेमिक लकडाउन सुरु हुँदाखेरि 1-2 हप्ताभित्रमा मैले लेख्न ट्राई गरेको थिएँ होइन। 3-4 पेज लेखेँ अनि फेरि रोकेँ, फेरि 2-3 दिनपछि फर्केर त्यो पढ्दाखेरि त ओ माई गड यस्तो झुर रहेछ, त्यो फाल्नै पर्छ सबै। सो यस्तो हुन्छ के हुन्छ मलाई थाहा नै छैन। समटाइम्स देयर इज जस्ट समथिङ द्याट त्यो सो यु नो देयर इज दिस वर्ड। सो हामी अहिले कन्टेम्पोरेरी अङ्ग्रेजीमा हामी जुन जिनियस भन्छौँ नि, सो अहिले हामीले चाहिँ के भन्छ भने जिनियस भनेको इट्स अ रियली स्मार्ट पर्सन इज अ जिनियस भनेर भन्छ होइन। तर पुरानो बेला यो द वर्ड जिनियस रियली कम्स फ्रम द ग्रिक होइन। सो ग्रिक्सहरूको लागि त द जिनियस वाज अ स्पिरिट ओर सम काइन्ड अफ force होइन, entity that will possess you. So it's not someone is a genius, but someone is possessed by a genius. अनि त्यो जिनियसले पोजेस गरेपछि मात्र उसले लेख्न सक्ने हो। सो पोएट्स होइन त्यो बेलाको अब ग्रिक लाइक होमर उनीहरूको, सो द जिनियस वुड पोजेस देम एन्ड दे वुड यु नो कम आउट विथ सम काइन्ड अफ राइटिङ। सो मलाई पनि लाग्छ कि कहिलेकाहीँ त्यस्तो छ कि सम फोर्स इज पोजेसिङ मी। मैले कहिलेकाहीँ मेरो पुरानो स्टोरिजहरू लेख्दाखेरि आई हेभ रिटन स्टोरिज, सम अफ माई बेस्ट वर्क इन 1 night वेयर आई जस्ट राइट लेखे 8 घन्टा 9 घन्टा लेखेँ नन स्टप। सो त्यो बेला के हुन्छ आई डोन्ट नो, समथिङ जस्ट ह्यापन्स एन्ड देन जाँगर पनि आउँछ, मुड पनि आउँछ, इन्ट्रेस्ट पनि आउँछ, आइडिया पनि क्लिक हुन्छ अनि लेखिन्छ। अनि कहिलेकाहीँ चाहिँ महिना हुँदैन, वर्षै हुँदैन। सो अहिले त्यही भइरहेछ, मलाई लेख्न चाहिँ ट्राई गरिरहेको छु, तर अब इट्स प्रोग्रेसिङ बट लेट्स सी वेयर इट गोस है। ओके, सो नेक्स्ट comment is from Shuvangi Khadka, who asks, what is the most important element in a story for you? Most important element? I think characters, really. Characters चाहिँ strong भयो भने जस्तो खालको स्टोरी लेखे पनि हुन्छ है खासमा। So you can have stories where nothing happens, केही नहुने स्टोरी, तर क्यारेक्टर इन्ट्रेस्टिङ भयो भने त्यो स्टोरी यतिकै रमाइलो हुन्छ। सो जस्तै लाइक एकदम प्रख्यात किताब सबलाई मनपर्ने क्याप्चर इन द राई, राइट? क्याप्चर इन द राई इज अ गुड बुक, not because lots of crazy things happen or the plot is very interesting. It's interesting because the central character जो छ नि त्यो होल्डन कलफिल्ड भन्ने ऊ चाहिँ इन्ट्रेस्टिङ छ, राइट? That is the guy. His thoughts are interesting. What he says is interesting. What kind of person he is interesting. That's why the book is enjoyable. That's why lots of people, thousands, millions of people have read the book. I know. खासमा त्यो किताबमा हुन त केही पनि हुँदैन नि. He just goes around, he does things, he talks to people, अनि the story pretty much ends. Right? So मलाई चाहिँ त्यो लाग्छ होइन, character. I think if you have a good, well-rounded, interesting character, the story, the book becomes interesting by itself. But that takes a lot of work. Characters are very, very hard to write. Characters need complete arcs. होइन. So there are many different formulas, कसरी लेख्ने, character arc कसरी बनाउने, यो हाम्रो there is त्यो द मोनोमिथ भन्ने एउटा आइडिया छ जोसेफ क्याम्पबलको. यो हाम्रो पुरानो महाभारत रामायणदेखि अहिले आएर स्टार वार्स एन्ड अलसम्म सबैमा अप्लाई हुन्छ होइन. दिस इज बेसिकली अबाउट क्यारेक्टर एन्ड प्लट. क्यारेक्टर कसरी प्रोग्रेस गर्छ, प्लटले कसरी त्यो क्यारेक्टरको चेन्जेसहरूलाई इन्फ्लुएन्स गर्छ, एन्ड वाट मेक्स फर एन इन्ट्रेस्टिङ स्टोरी अन द्याट. सो इफ युर इन्ट्रेस्टेड, लुक इट अप. इट्स जोसेफ क्याम्पबल. इट्स कल्ड द मोनोमिथ. So okay, त्यो भयो होइन question. Okay, next question is I think I answered that, होइन. So another question from Sudeep Umesh Basgai, who says, hello Pranay. Hello Sudeep, hope to hear about your book journey. How does it feel to be on page? Stakes high or an accomplishment? So to be on the page, सुरुमा when I first got published, होइन, मेरो फर्स्ट आर्टिकल मैले नेपाली टाइम्समा लेखेको थिएँ. त्यति बेला मेरो फर्स्ट आर्टिकल पब्लिस हुँदाखेरि त I was like, wow, this is like the best thing in the world, best feeling in the world. तर मैले किताब पब्लिस गर्नु जसम्म मेरो धेरै आर्टिकल पब्लिस भइसकेको थियो. सो मैले किताबमा, when I even held the book in my hand and I looked at it with my name on the cover, I still didn't really feel like मैले केही ठुलो अकम्प्लिस गरेँ जस्तो चाहिँ लागेन क्या मलाई. तर अब त्यसमा धेरै फ्याक्टरहरू छ कि, किनभने मैले किताब पब्लिस गरेँ अनि त्यो किताब रेडी भइसकेपछि पनि 3-4 महिना लाग्यो होइन नेपालमा आउन, बिकज त्यो ब्लकेड भइरहेको थियो. अनि त्यति बेलासम्म त्यो जाँगरै मरिसकेको थियो क्या. मेरो त्यो जुन त्यो एक्साइटमेन्ट थियो नि, मैले किताब लेखेँ, एउटा किताब पब्लिस गरेँ, वा आई अकम्प्लिस्ड समथिङ भन्ने खालको. सो एक्सटर्नल सर्कमस्टान्सेसले पनि हो, तर आई थिङ्क yeah, it is in a way, it is an accomplishment. Of course, त्यो त मैले डाउनप्ले गर्नै मिल्दैन होइन. To get your work published, to have it out there where thousands of people can just like read it, that's a really, really big accomplishment. But मलाई अहिले के लाग्छ भने, more than seeing my name in print, I want to put something out there that will last, right? So I don't know, यो मैले अहिलेसम्म लेखेको किताबहरू, आर्टिकलहरू त्यो कतिको मान्छेहरू फर्केर पढ्छन् भन्ने I don't know. I hope they will, but I don't trust myself enough to think that it's going to last long. So maybe I will reach a point in my life where I will actually really write something that I believe in, and I think that यो चाहिँ मेरो बेस्ट वर्क हो, यो चाहिँ मान्छेहरूले 50 वर्षपछि पनि पढ्छन्. त्यो if I ever feel that way, then that's an accomplishment. त्यो अहिलेसम्म चाहिँ खासै भएको छैन. Okay, next question. Right? So Kumar Sharma, hi Kumar, nice to see you. Kumar says, maybe also tell us the story behind the nomenclature of your blog title or Twitter handle. So मेरो blogको title चाहिँ Think in Ink भन्ने थियो के, अनि मेरो Twitter handle पनि Ink Think भन्ने छ. So खासै यसको story चाहिँ खासै त्यस्तो केही पनि छैन. I just thought it was a nice play on words, होइन. So because the word think has the word in and ink also in it, so it's a nice it's a nice word that really encapsulates who I am or what I do, right? I think in ink. I write so that I can process my thoughts. So मैले जे सोचेको छु, जे whatever I feel, त्यसलाई process गर्न मिल्छ. So think in ink, it sounded nice, and yeah, I just went with it and it stuck. So I don't know, I thought I'm not very good with titles. I'm not very good with coming up with clever lines or anything. खासमा त्यस्तो त्यो मलाई लाग्दैन. तर यो थिङ्किङ भन्ने चाहिँ जुन मैले स्टार्ट गरेँ अनि गर्न थालेँ, I thought यो राम्रै छ नि, होइन र? I thought it was interesting, short, catchy. Let's just go with it. I just kept going with it. Right? Okay, so Prakash Chandra Zimba, Prakash, hey, nice to see you, Prakash. is one of my students from KU. Thanks for joining. So Prakash is asking, how do you overcome writer's block? I have no idea, Prakash. I'm so sorry to tell you, but मलाई त फर्मुला छैन यार. राइटर्स ब्लक भन्ने कुरा हुन्छ होइन, तर okay, so one thing I try to do is I try to read. I go back to, so मेरो दुई तिनवटा किताबहरू छ which whenever I am kind of stuck or whenever I need some kind of inspiration होइन, then I go back to a few books and I read through them. So there is this one book which I have it right here, right? So it's this book. It's called Memory for Forgetfulness. अनि एउटा Palestinian writer हो, his name is Mahmoud Darwish. So this is basically my one of, let's just say it's my favorite book. I travel with this book everywhere. I wherever I've gone, म जहाँ गए पनि जे गरे पनि म यो किताब चाहिँ मसित जहिले पनि जान्छ. अनि यो किताब चाहिँ के हो भने it's basically like a prose poem. It's not really a novel. It's Mahmoud Darwish he's a poet. He's possibly the greatest Palestinian poet. And he writes in Arabic, so it's a translated. So this book is his reflections during the 1982 war between Lebanon and Israel. So he was living in Lebanon, in Beirut. He was living in Beirut, and Beirutमा चाहिँ इजरायलीहरूले अट्याक गरिरहेको थियो. अनि ऊ चाहिँ आफ्नो अपार्टमेन्टमा, he was stuck in his apartment, he couldn't go out, he couldn't do anything, and he thought that any moment म मर्छु होला. One of these Israeli shells, missiles is going to hit me and I'm going to die. So he basically wrote this book while he was there. And it's a reflection of everything that means anything to him, which from basic things like getting up in the morning and making a cup of coffee and drinking it, to thinking about his past, his life, his loves, his experiences, his relationship with writing, him as a poet. So it's a really, really great book that I always turn to whenever I need some kind of inspiration. So I think the best way to kind of beat writer's block is to read more, or to not just read but engage with something that inspires you. So music पनि हुन सक्छ, गीत सुने हुन्छ, maybe some song that really, really that you really like, that really inspires. त्यसो गरे नि हुन्छ, or watch a movie. Films are really great. Films give you great ideas, they put images in your head, and they can really, really inspire. Or read poetry. That's always good. Next question, has there been any incident? So, this is from Abhilasha Rayamaji, who says, has there been any incident where what you wrote and published has been misinterpreted? Misinterpreted. I don't really know. खासै मलाई यो त्यतिको फिडब्याक चाहिँ आएको छैन. मेरो सर्ट स्टोरिजहरूमा चाहिँ आइएम स्योर अब त्यसलाई मिसइन्टरप्रेट पनि भन्न मिल्दैन के, किनभने फिक्सनमा स्पेसली देयर इज नो रियल इन्टरप्रिटेसन, राइट? एउटा मैले लेखेपछि त मेरो एउटा इन्टेन्सन हुन्छ, मैले लेखेँ, मेरो हातबाट गइसकेपछि वेन एभर रिडरको हातमा आइसकेपछि त it's gone, it's out of my hands. Now it's up to the reader to construct whatever meaning they want out of it. So मलाई चाहिँ त्यस्तो लाग्छ के, that so I'm a big believer in the philosophy of Jacques Derrida, so who says like his deconstruction and all this thing is all about how texts, so it can be books or it can be art, it can be anything really, text, that anything that can be read and interpreted does not have any intrinsic meaning, that all of the meaning that it has is based on who is reading, when it's being read, and in what context. So if all of that matters. So the same book can be interpreted in one way 10 years ago, and then it can be interpreted in another way 10 years later. So मलाई चाहिँ यस्तो लाग्छ. So misinterpret भन्न त म चाहन्न हैन. मेरो so different differing interpretations होला. I'm sure all of them are right. There's no wrong interpretation. So reporting मा चाहिँ yes, I'm sure there has been a lot of especially मैले यो लेखेको recent writings or Kathmandu Post ko, especially the investigations and all that I've been a part of, that I've done with my great colleagues at Kathmandu Post. त्यो चाहिँ misinterpret भएको छ a lot of times by the subjects of those investigative pieces where they were portrayed in not flattering lights. So उनीहरूले चाहिँ they've tried to twist it, they've tried to twist the narrative, and they've tried to misinterpret what my intention was behind writing. त्यो चाहिँ भएको छ. तर that त्यो हुने नै भयो होइन. रिपोर्टिङमा हुन्छ त्यस्तो, especially when you write for a big media house or when you write with when you're published on a national daily, there will always be people who say, hey, यसले त पैसा खाएर लेखा हो, यसले त यसको इन्टरप्रिटेसन यो भारतीय दलाल हो या यो अमेरिकी दलाल हो, whatever. That those kind of comments are always there, and those are always, of course, मेरो लागि त मिसइन्टरप्रिटेसन नै हो त्यो हैन. So okay, next, hey. Next. So next question is from Aishwarya Noor Baidar. Aishwarya, who is another one of my students. Hi Aishwarya, thanks for coming and thanks for listening. She says, hi Pranaya, can you recommend more books to read? Also enjoying your last session, reminding much of our creative writing class. Yes. So I used to teach, मैले यो भन्नै बिर्सेँ सुरुमा. So मैले पार्ट टाइम म काठमाडौँ युनिभर्सिटी स्कुल अफ आर्ट्समा पढाउँछु पनि है. So I have taught 2 classes so far, 2 semesters, and my creative writing for the media one. So we have really great classes, at least I think, right? So once we talk about all kinds of art, we talk about writing, and it's very open, free flowing, and I really enjoy those classes because most of my students are also great. They talk, they engage. It's a really fun session. So Aishwarya, if you want some recommendations, मैले यो एउटा किताब त recommend गरिहालेँ है, Memory for Forgetfulness by Mohammed Darwish. Wait, I have some books here also that I wanted to talk about. Okay, one book I will recommend is here we go. One of my favorite Nepali books, Ular by Nomenclature Pandey. Fantastic book, fantastic. यत्रो सानो छ, novella, came out 20 years ago, more than 20 years, I don't know. Yeah, 20 वर्ष संस्करण भनेर लेखिरहेको छ, तर यो किताब एकदमै नै राम्रो छ, and I'm sure it's very popular. Lots of people I'm sure have read it, हैन, धेरैले पढेको छन् होला. तर पढेको छैन भने यो किताब चाहिँ please पढ्नुस्, because यो one of the favorite नेपाली किताबहरू हो. And I love it because Nomenclature Pandey is such a great writer. He's such a great writer because he's one of those people who is able to take social realism and use it in a really interesting way. So यो उलारमा, लुमा, उहाँको किताबहरूमा चाहिँ एउटा अर्कै खालको क्वालिटी छ क्या, which elevates it beyond just basic like straight up social realism जुन छ नि हाम्रो के अरे. So मेरो superficial assessment भनौँ न हैन, is that Nepali literature and हाम्रो Nepali writing in Nepali writing in English, दुईटै चाहिँ we are kind of stuck in this यो social realism को त्यो blinkeरमा के, जुन हाम्रो यो मेरो another one of my favorite writers and a good friend of mine, Mr. Kumar Naorkoti, always talks about. Here is another of his books, Fossil. This is Kumar Naorkoti. Please pick this up also because I really like the book. मलाई साह्रै नै मन पर्छ, मलाई कुमार दाइ पनि साह्रै नै मन पर्छ मान्छे. He's a fantastic guy to hang out with, to talk, and his writing is brilliant. So he also likes to really talk about social realism. मलाई त्यस्तै लाग्छ. I agree with him on his assessment that we need to break out of this kind of social realist box that हामीले आफूले राखेको छौँ. So Nepali writing in Nepali मा चाहिँ त्यतिको छैन हैन. So genre writingहरू पनि छ. People are taking risks and pushing the boundary, नयाँ innovative खालको नयन दाइले नि गर्नु भएको छ. उहाँको later किताबहरुमा अलिकति experimental type को writing छ उहाँको, which I know hasn't really been as popular as his other works. So त्यो पनि छ. So there is, I think the audience, हाम्रो reading audience ले नि एउटा social realist खालको expect गर्छ के, that हामी नेपाली वी हेभ टु राइट अबाउट नेपाली कस्तो दुःख छ नेपालमा, कस्तो पीडा छ, यो दुःख पीडा झल्किने खालको लेख्नुपर्छ भनेर। यस, त्यो पनि लेख्नु पर्छ, तर आइएम सेइङ द्याट त्यति मात्र लेख्नु पर्दैन होइन। वी क्यान लुक एट द सेम दुःख पीडा थ्रु अ डिफ्रेन्ट लेन्स होइन। सो genre राइटिङ by which I mean साइन्स फिक्सन होइन, फ्यान्टेसी, यस्तो खालको राइटिङहरू पनि आउनु पऱ्यो क्या, जुन मैले धेरै देखेको छैन। स्पेसली हाम्रो नेपाली राइटर्स हु राइट इन इङ्ग्लिसमा त मैले खासै धेरै देखेको छँदै छैन यसमा, नेपालीमा चाहिँ अलिअलि छ होइन। सो आई वुड रियली लभ टु सी द्याट। एन्ड आई थिङ्क मेरो इन्टरप्रिटेसन चाहिँ के हो भने, मेरो एनालिसिस इज द्याट लाइक वेन हाम्रो सो म चाहिँ आइएम रियली गोइङ टु टक अबाउट नेपाली राइटिङ इन इङ्ग्लिस, बिकज म अङ्ग्रेजीमा लेख्छु, नेपालीमा लेख्दिनँ होइन। सो म नेपाली राइटिङ इङ्ग्लिसको बारे अलिकति कुरा गर्न चाहन्छु। वेयर सो पुरानो हाम्रो पहिलाको जेनेरेसन अफ एल्डर स्टेट्समेन अफ नेपाली राइटिङ इन इङ्ग्लिस भनौँ न, who achieve some level of international success and who we all kind of look up to होइन, is obviously सम्राट उपाध्याय and मञ्जुश्री थापा होइन। दुईजना who are great writers, who have achieved a level of success that most of us who have writing in English have not been able to. So उहाँहरूले लेख्दाखेरि चाहिँ I think they wrote at a different time होइन, when नेपालमा त्यतिको अडियन्स थिएन नेपाली अङ्ग्रेजी पढ्ने। So एउटा critical mass नभएको बेला, where they were really writing for maybe a diaspora audience or maybe for बाहिरको foreign audience to understand Nepal. तर अहिले के भएको छ भने, now there is already a huge critical mass। लाइक अङ्ग्रेजी पढ्ने त नेपालीहरू धेरै छन् नि। लुक एट अल द बुक्स द्याट पिपल रिड, लुक एट हाम्रो बुक स्टोरमा गयो भने कति अङ्ग्रेजी किताब छ, अनि त्यो अङ्ग्रेजी कति बिक्छ होइन। सो पिपल आर रिडिङ एभ्रिथिङ, अङ्ग्रेजी कतिको पढिरहेको छ। सो इट्स बेसिकली अ वे अफ, it's an opportunity for people like us who write in English to kind of capitalize on that and to provide हाम्रो नेपाली readers with options, with a diversity होइन। सो सोसियल रिजम मात्र नहोस्, साइन्स फिक्सन होस् न, फ्यान्टेसी होस्, सो डिटेक्टिभ जनर होस्, हरर राइटिङ होस् होइन, त्यस्तो भयो भने पो मजा आउँछ नि पढ्नमा। So that's what I think होइन। Okay, I got sidetracked, but anyway, next question है। So this question from Itisha Giri: how do you deal with self-doubt? How can a writer work towards being more respectful towards his or her own work, good or bad? So great question. मलाई के लाग्छ भने, मलाई यो I really wanted to talk about this also. So I think self-doubt is critical to any writer, any artist. To be a good writer, to be a good artist, and eventually it's a process. You are not good at the beginning. No one is good at the beginning. Everyone sucks. And it takes a very, very, very long time to be good. And a lot of people, they never become good. And even if other people might say you are good, these people themselves will think I am never good enough. So मलाई पनि त्यस्तै लाग्छ, I am never good enough. What I think is, for art, the worst thing for an artist is to start thinking that म खतरा छु, म खतरा राइटर हो, म खतरा आर्टिस्ट हो, म बब्बाल म्युजिसियन हो। त्यो सोच्न थाल्ने बित्तिकै that is the end of creativity, because that means there is nowhere else for you to go. You've already gotten to the top होइन। So if you already start thinking सुरुदेखि नै होइन म त बब्बाल राइटर हो नि त, त्यो भन्न थाल्यो भने त गयो, सक्यो। Then you can pretty much stop writing, pack it in. So self-doubt is always good. I think it's healthy to always think of yourself as not good enough. That I always need to struggle, that I'm going to try, जसरी भयो नि म चाहिँ ट्राई गर्छु, अनि मैले जे प्रड्युस गर्छु त्यो मेरो एक्सपेक्टेसन जतिको एक्सपेक्टेसनलाई मिट हुँदैन, तर मिट नभए पनि ठिकै छ, इट्स अ प्रोसेस। One day I will get there. Maybe I will never get there, but I will try होइन। So what I would like to tell to अहिलेको अलि younger writers होइन, because I'm also I would like to think of myself as quite young. I'm not that old yet. So I would like to say, give some advice, is that if you start writing, if you start making art, if you start making music, making movies and all that, send it out. Give it to people who are not from your friend circle. Give it to people that you know will give you honest feedback. Send it out for publication. Send it out to newspapers, to magazines, to publishers, anyone, and get ready for rejection. And when you get rejected, think to yourself, why did I get rejected? Don't think that होइन म बबाल भए पनि यिनीहरूले मलाई रिजेक्ट गर्यो, यिनीहरू त बायस्ड छ, यिनीहरू या खत्तम छ. So don't project it out, होइन. Look inward. I got rejected a lot. So it's always a learning process, and I think that it's always good to get healthy feedback. It's all, and just because if you put your writing on your Facebook, on your Instagram, and you get 20 likes and you get 50 comments saying, wow, you're such a great writer, don't let that get to your head. Because those are your friends, those are your family, those are your relatives, those are people you know. Obviously, they're going to say, wow, you're good. They're not going to say you're bad, I know. Or they're not going to give, they might give critical feedback, they might give critical comments. That's also, but don't be afraid of criticism, don't be afraid of rejection, and don't be afraid of thinking that I'm not good enough. I think that's healthy. I think everyone should feel that I'm not good enough. Okay, next question. Thanks, Itisha, for that question. Okay, next question from Vivek Adhikari. Hello, Vivek. Says, hello there, how is your creative writing process like? Do you have a routine for writing, fixed number of hours or word count every day? Also, do you outline your stories or work your way through the story by natural instinct? So, hi Vivek, thanks for the question, right? मेरो चाहिँ क्रिएटिभ प्रोसेस भन्ने खासै त्यस्तो छैन. So like I said अघि नै fixed hours भन्ने पनि छैन. I know I should be more disciplined with writing, and I have been really trying to write like at least a few hundred words or 1,000 words every day. त्यो चाहिँ गरिराख्नुपर्छ जस्तो लाग्छ. So even if it's not fiction, even if it's just like thoughts or any kind of writing. So मलाई चाहिँ what helps me is that because I'm an editor, I have to edit every day. So I have to write every day, even though the writing that I do is basically editing, it's still a form of writing. So that helps me, that keeps me engaged with writing. So I'm never always not writing. Every day केही न केही लेखिरहेको हुन्छु, केही न केही प्रोड्युस भइरहेको हुन्छ. मेरो नाम नभए पनि त्यहाँनिर I'm working with writing. So that's always there, right? Ani, I do outline my stories. So I wanted to show you something. I try to make arcs. So I try to make arcs like this. Can you see this? Like that. So like this. So these are character arcs. I try to make arcs of what happens, especially if I'm working on a novel or a longer story, then I want to, it's you're the short story लेखेको जस्तो हैन, 10-15 पेजको कुरा हैन, 200 पेज 300 पेज 400 पेजसम्म जान्छ. I need to be able to figure out your character को ups and downs के हो. So character arc बनायो भने it really helps. के हुन्छ, does the person go up, do they go down, so there's a nice quote by I think Kurt Vonnegut, who is one of my favorite writers, who says every story is about a man or a woman who falls into a hole and then gets out of the hole. So that's basically it. Basically what he's trying to say is there is a character, the character encounters a problem, and the story is about how does the character resolve that problem. So त्यो गर्नको लागि I have to make an arc, I have to outline, I have to figure out कसरी के हुन्छ, कसरी हुन्छ, and I have to, it helps me keep track. So that's my process. Thanks, Vivek, for the question. Next. Let's see. So there is a question from Smitha, who says, what made you choose English language to Nepali? Yeah, this is a question that I myself have struggled with a lot. So this has, I think, a lot to do with basically just how I was raised, and that मलाई एउटा स्कुलमा हालियो हैन, इङ्ग्लिस मिडियम स्कुल भन्नु, सेन्ट जेभियर्स गोदावरीमा म पढ्थेँ हस्टेलमा. त्यहाँ के रुल थियो भने नेपालीमा बोल्यो भने लट्ठी हान्थ्यो, or लिटरली लट्ठी नहान्थ्यो भने you'd be punished के. So हप्तामा 3 चोटि नेपाली बोलेको भेटायो भने फ्राइडे नाइट फिल्म देखाउँथ्यो, मुभी देखाउँथ्यो, त्यो मुभी हेर्न पाइन्थेन. क्लासमा बसेर you had to study. So obviously बच्चैदेखि we are taught that होइन नेपाली बोल्नु हुँदैन. So मेरो के भयो भने नेपाली कमजोर भयो, obviously हुने नै भएन. So we are encouraged, म क्लास 1 देखि क्लास 6 सम्म त मर्निङ टु नाइट अङ्ग्रेजी मात्र बोल्नु पर्थ्यो, अनि पढाइ पनि अङ्ग्रेजीमा मात्र हुन्थ्यो. So I read English, I spoke in English, I thought in English. What happened is that मेरो English became much better than my Nepali. अनि मैले लेख्न ट्राई गर्दाखेरि मैले नेपालीमा लेख्न ट्राई गरिनँ होइन. सो पोर भयो नेपाली, मैले सकिनँ. अनि मलाई धेरै टाइम लाग्यो मेरो नेपाली अलिकति डेभलप गर्न, जब कि म नेपालीमा पढ्न नै कम्फर्टेबल हुन नै टाइम लाग्यो. विच आई नो इट्स एम्बारेसिङ, इट्स अ स्याड स्टेट अफ अफेयर्स होइन. यो त यस्तो त हुनु भएन. नेपालमै बसेर नेपाली पढ्न गाह्रो मान्नु भनेको त यो त अलिक होइन राम्रो कुरा होइन, तर अब भाकै त्यही हो. So I struggled with that, and I've tried, and maybe मेरो life goal is that one day when I'm 40 years old, maybe when I'm 50 years old, I'll be able to write something in Nepali at the same level, with the same kind of confidence that I write in English. त्यो होस् भन्ने मेरो एउटा aim in life छ. हुन्छ कि हुँदैन, I don't know. Okay, next question है त. So there is a question from bOOkahOlics. I don't know who it is from. I think it's from Sagana Didzu. It says, your grandfather is a very learned man and an awesome storyteller. Your uncle Deepak Rana has a handful of books, including the amazing picture of Shikari. Have you ever been influenced by them or their anecdotes and thoughts of retelling history? Oh yeah, it is from Sagana Didzu. Yeah. Anyway, so Sagana Didzu, thank you for the question. Yes, I have to say that I am actually influenced by these people in my life, especially my uncle and even my father, who is long dead, but he also used to write, and my grandfather. My grandfather, let's say, consciously or unconsciously, he loves to tell stories, he loves to talk, and he has like this एकदम एसोटेरिक सब्जेक्टहरू छ क्या मेरो ग्रान्डफादरलाई मनपर्ने. जस्तै उहाँलाई एकदम मनपर्ने भनेको मिर्जा गालिबको पोएम्सहरू, Dr. Muhammad Iqbalko shairiहरू. These are two things he loves, and he really likes to read about, the war tactics of Erwin Rommel during World War II, and he likes to read about Mustafa Kemal Pasha, Ataturk. So these kind of like, चारैतिरबाट उहाँको इन्ट्रेस्टहरू एकदम wide ranging छ के. So there are things he picks up from India, from Germany, from Japan, from here and there, होइन. So उहाँको wide ranging eclectic tasteले पनि, I'm sure that has influenced me, because मेरो पनि त्यस्तै छ. I do read a lot from everywhere, I listen to music from everywhere, I watch movies from all over the world. So that has definitely, affected me. And also my uncle, yeah, sure, his books are, I've read his books have influenced me to also start writing. When I was young, growing up, he had already written a book, and I always thought that, yeah, होइन, लेख्नु पर्छ. If my uncle is doing it, perhaps I should also do it. So त्यो त थियो है. Okay, next question. We're also almost coming to the end है. 5 minutes जति बाँकी छ 1 घण्टा हुनलाई. So one more question from Silky Moon Ree, who says she enjoyed City of Dreams. Thank you. And when is my next book coming out? I have no idea. I haven't even finished writing it, but I hope it will come out soon. Thank you for looking out for it. Okay, next, right? Let's see. So, okay, Silky Moon Tree has another question. So, have you ever felt that the story would have been more powerful, more profound if it were written differently? If yes, then which one is that story? And do you have you faced that there are more powerful than one stories in your mind, but you ended up with a different story than those what were in your mind? So the first question, say, I don't really know. More profound, more powerful, perhaps, but I don't know if I could have done it. Maybe someone else can do it. I would really love to see if someone could make like a short film out of my stories. One of my stories, that would be fantastic, because त्यो भनेको someone else would be taking my ideas and interpreting it in their own way, and I would love to see that. I would love to, because it's out of my hands. अब मैले जसरी लेखेँ अब त्यो सकिसक्यो. अब त्यसलाई मैले होइन, it could have been better, it could have been worse, त्यो सोचेर अहिले काम छैन. सकिसक्यो होइन तर अरू कसैले इन्टरप्रेट गर्न सक्छ भने प्लिज फिल फ्री है So, do you have faced that there are more than one stories in your mind, but you ended up with a different story than what was in your mind? Yes, yes. So, generally, almost always हुन्छ. Whenever I start writing the story, I think that it will go a certain way, होइन सुरुमा लेख्दाखेरि चाहिँ एन्डिङ यस्तो होला भनेर सोच्छु अनि तर लेख्दा लेख्दै द स्टोरी टेक्स अन अ लाइफ अफ इट्स ओन होइन कहिलेकाहीँ के हुन्छ आफै चेन्ज हुन्छ मैले कन्सियसली सोचेकै हुँदिनँ कि म यसरी लेख्छु भनेर तर लेख्दा क्यारेक्टर्स चेन्ज प्लट चेन्ज इभन समटाइम्स एन्डिङ्स चेन्ज सो यस देयर आर अलवेज मेनी डिफ्रेन्ट इन्टरप्रिटेसन्स होइन दिमागमा धेरै धेरै कुराहरू हुन्छ अनि बाहिर लास्टमा जे प्रड्युस हुने हो त्यो त एउटा आइडिया त हो सो obviously that one idea comes at the cost of all other ideas that were in my head so त्यो हुन्छ but I think that's good होइन for a writer always to have many different ways that the story could have gone and to pick one yes okay so one more question from Itisha who says what do you think about the nature state of literary criticism in Nepal I so के let me think about this for a second. I think the state of literary criticism भनेर चाहिँ हाम्रो generally न्युजपेपरहरूमा आउँछ राइट सो हाम्रो कान्तिपुरको त्यो विकेन्ड एडिसन छ अहिले नयाँ पत्रिकाको छ अन्नपूर्णको छ यु नो there are all these weekend editions that come out with that are much more होइन लिटरेरी त्यसमा किताबको एक्सर्टहरू हुन्छ त्यहाँ एनालिसिसहरू हुन्छ धेरै यु नो कलाको बारे डिस्कसनहरू हुन्छ विच आई थिङ्क इज भेरी लाइभली तर मलाई के लाग्छ भने जति स्ट्रिन्जेन्ट हुनुपर्ने जतिको अलिक क्रिटिकल हुनुपर्ने त्यो भइरहेको छैन कि जस्तो लाग्छ किनभने वाट happens is that a lot of times the critics and the writers are friends होइन सो जब हामी जस्तै लिटरेचर फेस्टिभलमा जान्छौँ होइन सबजना बस्छौँ साथी हुन्छ गफ गर्छौँ बियर खान्छौँ गफ लडाउँछौँ होइन अनि त्यो गरेपछि एकजना राइटरको किताब मन परेन भने पनि त्यो लेख्न अलिकति हिचकिचाउँछौँ कि होइन अब मेरो साथी भइसक्यो अब उसलाई कसरी मैले यस्तो क्रिटिकल भएर लेख्ने त्यो पनि छ कि त्यो अलिकति मलाई कहिलेकाहीँ अलिअलि त्यस्तो चाहिँ आई फिल है अलिअलि झन् इङ्ग्लिस राइटिङको त
It's 6 o'clock.
So आजकल भइरहेछ आई नो देयर आर लट अफ क्रिटिक्स सो आइम नट ट्राइङ टु डिस्काउन्ट एभ्रीवन होइन बाइ द वे बट देयर आर अ लट अफ क्रिटिक्स हु आर भेरी हार्श that take writers to task that say that होइन यो हुँदै भएन यसरी हुँदै भएन तर लिटरेरी क्रिटिसिजमको बारे पनि हामीले धेरै कुराहरू डिसाइड गरेकै छैनौँ कि एज अ नेपाली यु नो लिटरेरी कम्युनिटी हाम्रो क्यानन के हो हाम्रो एस्टाब्लिस लाइक वाट आर द मुभमेन्ट्स द्याट आर ह्यापनिङ विदिन नेपाली लिटरेचर नेपाली लिटरेचर इन इङ्ग्लिस हु आर द एक्टर्स वाट इज ह्यापनिङ त्यो हामीले केही डिसाइड गरेको पनि छैन जस्तो लाग्छ त्यो भइरहेको होला तर maybe it doesn't reflect in the criticism as much and maybe it should so maybe there needs to be journals magazines that are specifically dedicated towards the arts towards literary criticism so academic journalहरूमा पनि बुक रिभ्यूहरू आउँछ त्यसमा अलिकति स्लाइटली मोर रिगरस होला त्यसमा चाहिँ स्लाइटली मोर बाहिरको यु नो लाइक इन्टरप्रेटिभ लेन्सहरू लगाएर लेखिएला सो त्यस्तो पनि आई थिङ्क हुनुपर्छ भइरहेछ बढ्दै जाओस् म पनि हो आई एम अल्सो अ क्रिटिक आई अल्सो राइट लिटरेरी क्रिटिसिजम आई अल्सो टक टु अ लट अफ यङ राइटर्स एन्ड आई डु हेभ अ रेपुटेसन फर बिङ एक्सट्रिमली हार्श बट आई थिङ्क द्याट्स नेसेसरी त्यो गर्नुपर्छ एन्ड आई एम नट mean for the sake of being mean I'm harsh because I want people to improve, to do better. And I think criticism always helps. So okay, हाम्रो होइन 1 घन्टा त भयो. I think that should I wrap it up or how does this work? Please, can someone from bOOkahOlics tell me how much more time do I have or के गर्न सकिन्छ? So okay, one last question, right? Priyankana has asked me, what are your favorite books, art, and covers? So I do. मलाई चाहिँ के अर्को के कुरा यो I just want to really talk about this quickly, right? Is that I really enjoy books as an object. So I love. I don't. So मलाई e-readerहरू खासै त्यस्तो मन पर्दैन. मलाई किताबै राम्रो लाग्छ because I think books as objects have value on their own. So I have this book here, which is it's this. It comes like this, right? And it's this book. It's called Knox by Anne Carson. So यो किताब कसरी आउँछ भने it comes like this. It comes in a बट्टा. And it's a long scroll of writing. And there are photographs, there are, poetry, there's all kinds of really interesting things. So I think that kitab bhaneko, it's not just the value of the words, but really how it's packaged also, no? So people say don't judge a book by its cover, but then what is the point of the cover? The cover also has a point, right? It's there so that it gives you a certain message about what kind of book is this. के हो त? So मैले मेरो किताब जुन which I published through Rupa, I really struggled a lot with my publishing house to not have Pasupati, Swayambhu, Everest, and prayer flags on my cover. I said I will veto any of those things. Just because I'm a Nepali writer doesn't mean you should put, Swayambhu or Pasupati or Sarmatha on the cover. So I went with a really like abstract drawing, which I think really turned out really well. मलाई मेरो किताबको cover चाहिँ मलाई एकदम राम्रो लाग्छ. So I like covers, I like books, I enjoy a lot of. So मलाई यो खासमा यो कुमार नरकटीको यो किताबको नि मलाई यो किताब यो cover एकदम राम्रो लाग्छ. It's very small and it's a nice like package. It's very nicely packaged, होइन? So यस्तो यस्तो कुराहरू पनि मलाई मनपर्छ and I think it has value. Especially in this day and age, a lot of reading is moving online, e-reader ma gairako cha. So I think that really having books as collections, as objects of art in themselves is also important. And we should keep that art alive. होइन? So basically, त्यही नै हो कुरा. So, so do we have any more questions? I think our questions is सक्यो, right? So, okay, I'll take one last question, right? From Vidya Maharjan, who says, what do you think English literature students in Nepali colleges could do to keep up with changing English? So, changing English is what I think read. Basically, read and read newspapers, read magazines, and read stuff that's online. Okay? What I've realized is that from working at a newspaper for a very long time, म पहिला op-ed editor पनि थिएँ काठमाडौँ पोस्टको अनि I used to get a lot of submissions होइन अनि so अङ्ग्रेजीमा लेख्ने हाम्रो what I've realized is that a lot of हाम्रो अङ्ग्रेजी is still it's stuck in these kind of early 80s 70s 80s तिरको formalized अङ्ग्रेजी के and the world has moved on, right? Language is not static. Language constantly evolves. So there is no point in saying यो यसरी नै हुनुपर्छ यो यसरी नै लेख्नुपर्छ भन्ने हुँदैन. And as fiction writers, you always have the freedom, the poetic license to write however you want and take liberties. So basically, मेरो suggestion to always त्यही हुन्छ हैन, read more and read contemporary stuff. Read always, there are lots of free short stories online. So हामीले म यो लकडाउनको बेला we had done this कोभिड लकडाउन रिडिङ ग्रुप भनेर मैले ट्विटरमा गरेको थिएँ. सो एभ्री विक वी विल रिड वान सर्ट स्टोरी होइन. सो अङ्ग्रेजीमा हामीले पढ्यौँ अनि वी वेन्ट थ्रु लाइक 20-30 आई थिङ्क 30वटा स्टोरी पढ्यौँ. वान स्टोरी एभ्री डे पढेर वी ह्याड अ डिस्कसन अन ट्विटर एन्ड इट वाज भेरी फन. वी रेड स्टोरिज फ्रम अल ओभर द वर्ल्ड, सम इन ट्रान्सलेसन, सम इन इङ्ग्लिस, एन्ड चारैतिरबाट गर्न धेरै रमाइलो भयो. तर त्यस्तो स्टोरिजहरू पनि छ एन्ड आई थिङ्क इट्स इम्पोर्टेन्ट टु रिड कन्टेम्पोरेरी स्टफ. डोन्ट जस्ट रिड हेमिङवे एन्ड सेक्सपियर एन्ड पुरानो डिकेन्स सिकेन्स एस्टाब्लिस्ड क्यानन अङ्ग्रेजी राइटर्सहरू लेखेर के अरे लेखकहरू पढेर मात्र हुँदैन क्या. अहिलेको कन्टेम्पोरेरी पढ्नु पऱ्यो. अनि कन्टेम्पोरेरीमा पनि वेस्टर्न वर्ल्डको मात्र पढेर हुँदैन. सो वी क्यान जस्ट अलवेज गो टु वर्ड्स British writers, American writers, or even by the West. I also count Japan in the West, by the way. So we need to really go towards also look at Africa, look at Europe, look at South America, where a lot of really fantastic literature is coming out of. And neighboring India, India, there are such fantastic writers who are just like so many coming out. मलाई त अहिले नाम पनि भन्न दिमागमा आइरहेको छैन. But yeah, we should really reach out. We should really try to explore new kinds of writing, different writing in translation especially, and try to read widely, try to read more, read contemporary stuff, try to read at least a few short stories that have been published in the past a year or two, and then you'll see how language is evolving, how people are writing now, and that always helps. So Amro, so I hope I answered that question well, right? हाम्रो 1 hour and 10 minutes जति गइसक्यो. I think I'm 10 minutes over the limit, so I think it's a good place to wrap up. Thank you so much for listening to me. My rambling ideas, मेरो धेरै कुरा दिमागमा आउँछ, बोल्दा बोल्दै काका जान्छ होइन. राइटिङमा पनि यस्तै नै हुन्छ. एउटा कुरा लेख्न थाल्दाखेरि त्यो स्टोरी कहाँ पुग्छ. So anyway, thank you for bearing with me. Thank you for listening to me. I hope this was enjoyable, interesting. If you have any questions, any extra thoughts, you want to write to me, please. And my Facebook ma lekhe huncha, my Twitter ma lekhe huncha. I'm always ready to respond, talk, give advice, anything you want. I really enjoy talking to young writers, engaging with young writers. So please, please sodnus. Thank you so much. Thank you to bOOkahOlics, the entire admin team. Thank you for Sagana Diju. Thank you to everyone who is present for tolerating me. I hope I didn't make a fool of myself. I hope I didn't ramble too much. Thank you so much. Goodbye. Namaste.